Honorable Mr. Marco Mendicino, good evening. It's great to meet you again. We are meeting in weird circumstances. Last time we met, it was in January. It was a pandemic, but we didn't know how severe the situation.
I remember.
Yeah, but now it's such a weird time. First of all, I would like to introduce you to my colleagues. We have Haytham, the editor in chief for Hala Canada Media and Publication. And we have Ahmed Al-Zughbi and Abu Bakr Idris. They're both also colleagues of mine. They're social media influencers and they're content creators. And we are, the three of us, we make content about Canada between immigration, refugees, and education. So everyone has his own specialty with the content. And today actually marks a very special day. So today we had 5 years anniversary when the first plane came filled with Syrian refugees. And today there was like the ceremony of 29 new Canadians from 11 Syrian families.
Well, first, thank you so much, Fadi. And it's a wonderful opportunity for me to share with you the personal experience of welcoming new citizens to the family of Canadian citizenship. And today we welcomed 29 new citizens. They are all Syrian refugees. Today, December 10th, 2020, the 5th anniversary of the very first arrivals of Syrian refugees at Lester B. Pearson International Airport in Toronto. And I think everybody remembers those images of the first families. You know, they were clutching each other, very emotional. You saw the throngs of supporters. You saw the Prime Minister there bending down on a knee to welcome some of the youngest refugees. I went with my daughter. She was 8 years old at the time. About a week after, and I will never forget the very first family and the mother bending down to hug my daughter, and the embrace that was there was very emotional, and I think it reflected an outpouring of compassion and kindness and warmth that we all felt from coast to coast to coast. And being able to be there today to see them now become citizens is a real reminder that yes, of course, we're Canadian and we want to be compassionate, but we also recognize that when refugees succeed, we all succeed. And that's why today was so meaningful.
Great, amazing. I felt jealous actually today seeing you at the ceremony. So I'm gonna ask you to be at my own ceremony when I get my citizenship. And maybe
well, I will be there. I look forward to that day.
Me too, actually. And maybe you can invite the Prime Minister. No promises, but that would be great.
Yeah. Yes, no, I would love to do that.
That would be great. We're gonna start actually with Haytham.
Good evening. My name is Haytham Hamam. I'm the founder and chief editor of Hala Canada Media. My question to you, based on what we know, that the number of Arab immigrants will increase by 200% by 2023. It has already increased by 75% from 2006 till 2016, according to Statistics Canada. Researches shows that also the Arabic community is currently the fastest growing immigrant population and the largest newcomer population across the country. The unemployment of Arabs in Canada is the highest across the country at 17.9%, and this is based on September 2020 census. My question is, what is the Ministry of Immigration doing to ensure the successful resettlement of Arab immigrants in Canada?
Well, first, we're very grateful to those that come from around the world to contribute to our economy. I'm very excited about our immigration plan, which I tabled just a few weeks ago. It's very much focused on creating jobs, on economic recovery, and on long-term prosperity. And one of the ways in which I think we can achieve success and maximize the full potential of not only new aspiring Arab Canadians, but all new immigrants, is by taking the skill set that is possessed by them, by linking those skills to the gaps in our economy. And I think of some of the most essential parts of our economy where we need immigrants, for example, in the healthcare sector, where doctors and nurses and support workers have been working around the clock to provide treatment. We need a second shift to meet the challenges of the second wave. The other thing I would say is, Haytham, is that we continue to invest in settlement services. We want to be sure that there is that support for new aspiring Canadians, for immigrants, so that they get the language training, the integration, the additional orientation that is required. And
Canada has one of the best, if not the best, immigration systems in the world when it comes to integration, as has been recognized by the OECD. And the proof of that success is in the numbers. 1 out of every 3 business owners in Canada is owned by an immigrant. And in turn, those business owners employ hundreds of thousands of Canadians. So as we grow our population, our economy grows and we become a stronger country. And I want to say to you a big thank you for telling the story from the perspective of the immigrant and the newcomer and the Arab community. I mean, it is so important that we respect one of the pillars of our democracy is to have a robust, strong, independent, journalistic, free press. And so the work that you are doing is incredibly important. And by coming on this show, what I think, I hope you'll see is that we believe in having an open government. We believe that it's important to be transparent about our plans and also to share the stories of immigrants. I mean, people ask me, how do you keep confidence in our immigration system? And what I say to them is Canadians can relate to the immigrant narrative. They can relate because immigrants are our relatives, they're our family members, they're our coworkers, there are the people that we see in our communities. And the more that we share these stories, the better. And we have some prominent Arab Canadians in our caucus. For example, we have Omar Al Gabra, my good friend, and also Faisal Al Khoury from Quebec, and many, many others. And it's a reflection of the diversity of our caucus and our government. So I'm very proud to be able to come and share the stories of their success, their advocacy with you on your show.
Thank you so much, Haytham. Moving forward, Honorable Minister, actually, I wanna touch base also on the processing. There has been like a huge delay with the test and also the express entry or all the immigration process in general. Speaking of the test, it took more than 8 months until we actually implement the online exams. Having said that, like most of the educational institutes, whether schools or universities, they managed to implement the online exams faster even than the immigration. Any reason for that delay, and how fast are we going to turn around the 85,000 canceled tests during the past 8 months? And how we're going to accommodate the coming as well tests and applications.
So 2 really good pieces of news that I want to share with you when it comes to citizenship. And this will apply to you, Fadi, when you become a citizen as well. The first is that since April, we have welcomed over 43,000 new citizens into the family of Canadian citizenship, despite the challenges of the pandemic. And one of the ways in which we've done that is by moving our citizenship ceremonies online, like you saw earlier today. The second thing is that we are now doing this work when it comes to citizenship testing. So we have moved citizenship testing online, and the pace at which we are going to allow people to take their tests online is only going to increase over time. And what that means is that, in my view, we will have a more efficient citizenship process right across the board after the pandemic is done. And we're taking those technologies and we're applying them to other lines of business as well. We're applying them to permanent residents. So what has typically been a very paper-based organization is becoming more digital, more virtual. And we're the first in the world to do this. I mean, we are trailblazers. This is the story of the Canadian immigration system. Again, writing a new chapter, leveraging the technology to go into online citizenship testing and ceremonies. It's a proud moment.
Right. And how about actually the new target that has been set by the government for the 1.2 million new immigrants with the next 3 years?
Well, again, I'm very optimistic about achieving that target because we have added resources, because we are using more technology, and because we are introducing policies to align the needs of our economy with those aspiring newcomers that want to come and meet those needs. But the other thing that we have a chance to do now is to look within our borders at the temporary immigrants who are already here. These are our temporary workers. These are our international students. These are our asylum seekers. And for example, the asylum seekers that we welcome today, but also I announced a special project that would welcome the guardian angels. These are the asylum seekers that started predominantly in Quebec, volunteering and working on the front lines of hospitals and long-term care homes. They overcame great adversity just to get to Canada. and they rolled up their sleeves at a time when we needed them the most. And now we've got an opportunity to welcome them as permanent residents even more quickly. So by doing all of these things together at the same time, we get the workers we need. We're making sure that we're reuniting families, and we're living up to our international obligations when it comes to defending human rights by providing a safe harbor for those that are fleeing persecution. I'm very proud that this is exactly what our plan is going to achieve.
We're going to touch base more on the refugees, but I'm going to leave Ahmed actually because he has some questions related to the immigration, the ceremonies as well.
Yes. Hello, Mr. Minister.
Hello, Ahmed.
It's a pleasure to meet you today.
Thank you.
My name is Ahmed Al-Zogbi, and I'm from Montreal, Quebec. And I actually have two questions. One of them is relevant to what Fadi said. It's regarding the processing time. So as you know, there is a delay right now in the processing time in immigration and citizenship files. And I can understand that, but the thing that I can't understand why there is a delay in online ceremonies, because applicants who are waiting for these ceremonies were already, applied and passed the test successfully. And it's an online ceremony, so there is no safety measure regarding, COVID. So why don't the ceremony, take the same delay as before? That's the first question. Yeah.
Thank you, Ahmed, and I really appreciate where you're coming from. And the first thing I want to tell you is absolutely COVID-19 has created disruption, but where we were last spring to where we are right now is in a far better place. And the reason is that we have incorporated technology, digital and virtual ceremonies. And I think that we will continue to pick up the pace of that and see more Canadian citizens welcomed at an even faster clip. The second thing is that we are taking those principles and we are applying them to every line of our business. So permanent residency, passports, visas, all of the things that in normal times would be operating, very efficiently, I think will be even more efficient coming out of the pandemic because we have made these great strides thanks to our ability to evolve and to become more innovative. So I'm feeling very optimistic about the future and having one of the most, if not the most efficient immigration systems in the world.
Thank you. So the second question actually is about the scammers.